In the previous video, we had discussed about like lenses, right? A basic introduction to lenses. If you want to listen the basic introduction, what are lenses, how they are made, and what are its basics, and what we are going to cover in the topic of lenses, you can go and check that out. In the previous video, you can type lenses part 1, Pranav Donepudi. Okay, and in this video, we are going to discuss about 3 topics: Snell's law and refraction in curved surfaces, basics. These 2 topics are being covered in this topic. Hello everyone, this is Pranav Donepudi and welcome to my channel. Okay, let's get into the topic. Generally, we know there are different types of lenses. Actually, water lenses, they are nothing but a piece of glasses, right? The glasses may be like this, the glass may be like this, the glass may be like this, the glass may be like this. Any shape, anything which is transparent and can pass light through it is called as lens, right? Now, what we are discussing is, we had discussed that refraction. What is refraction? Bending of light when it is entering into a new medium. Bending of light when it is entering into a new medium is called refraction. Lenses have different kinds. Refraction is nothing but bending of light when it is entered into new medium, right? This is the definition, a basic definition related to refraction. Simply, when a light, any light ray, I am taking one light ray, it is incident on some transparent, in the sense the medium, transparent glass which can pass through light into it. Okay. Now on this the light ray is incidented and this makes the light to get deviated either in away from its path. This path is actually if there is no medium, the light ray would pass like this, but due to this medium it is passing like this, it is getting deviated in this manner. Or there may be another possibility also, it may get deviated in this manner also. It may get away from its path, in the sense away from the normal, or below, in the sense towards the normal. When these 2 cases are getting happened, how can we identify in which case the light ray which is entered into the medium goes away from the normal or getting towards the normal? In which case we can say what is happening? Also, I had discussed in the previous video about a simple topic or a simple definition about refractive index, a single word. Refractive index is indicated by the letter mu. Actually, what is refractive index? Refractive index is nothing but the density of the given medium by density of water. This is the definition of refractive index. Okay. Density of water is always 1 kg per meter cube. In the sense 1, I can write 1 kg per meter cube. Then what is the density of medium? We can find the density equal to mass per unit volume. We know, we had taken some that medium. We know that medium, if we take glass, we are discussing glass, they take that only. If we take that glass, we know that mass of glass, we'll measure it on a weighing machine, it will come like 90 kilogram. You consider 90 kilogram. Volume is length, breadth, height. Yes, no? LBH. In the previous video I have said this. It is in the form of a cuboid or it may be in the form of cube. We know that volume. Simply I will get 10 meter. This I consider simply random values. 10 meter, 20 meter and 1 meter. Okay, these are the measurements. So by this we can find like 200 meter cube. Mass by volume is nothing but density. We'll get density of the medium like 200 meter cube by 90 kg. Okay, here I'll get some value 20 by 9. Okay, 20 by 9, no? 20 by 9 meter kg per meter cube units. Now these units will get cancelled. See, both are densities only. Density by density, it will have no units. Mu has no units. Okay, mu has no units. It will not have any units. It will not have kg. It will not have meter. It will not have meter power minus 3. It don't have any units. Okay, mu is nothing but a single value which represents the some identity related to that material. Okay, like this for glass it will have some mu. This density is independent of how much meter. If you find any ratio, density is constant. No? Density is constant. So this density is constant. This density is constant. So mu will be also constant. In the sense, mu is always fixed for anything. If you consider glass, glass will have one particular value. If you consider water, water will have one particular value. If you consider some wood, wood is not a transparent material or a translucent material also, it will also have some value. Okay, in this it will only this item will have one particular value assigned to it. You consider glue, glue will have some particular value. If you consider this type of liquid, this liquid also pass some light into it, right? It can also pass light into it, so this will also have one value of refractive index. Okay, like that they will be having different values. For example, glass will have 1 point. Okay, example I am taking water. Water will have 1.33. In the sense 4 by 3. 4 by 3 will be the refractive index of that. What we'll say water. Okay. In this manner, Ri in the sense refractive index is independent and it will have certain value for certain things. Generally we use both glass and water. Glass will be depending on the question. Sometimes they'll give glass value 1 by 2 or 3 by 2 or 4 by 2, what they want they'll give. There are different types of glass also. Crown glass, flint glass. Okay, these are two types of glasses, famous glass types also. This will have 1.773 or this will have 1.414, instance root 2, 1 by root 2. Like that different values will be assigned for different materials. By knowing this mu value, we can say that the refractive index, by knowing the value of refractive index, we can say whether the light entering into it is away from the normal, going away from the normal or getting towards the normal. We can say that by knowing this value. Okay? By knowing the medium value. If this medium is known, the air refractive index is always 1. Okay? We'll know this value. Let us consider this is 1. Air is 1 always. Okay? This have mu. Now, if mu is greater than 1, if I have, now after having these all values and substituting, I got a mu as 0.7. You consider any random value. This is less than 1, right? 1 is greater than 0.7. This is greater. This is having high refractive index, this is having low refractive index. So, in that case, it will go away from the normal. This topic is discussed in the previous video. If you want to have why it is going like that, I had given an example also, guest home, I had given an example. You can see that previous video. It will go away from the normal. If mu is greater than 1, mu is greater than this value. This is mu 1 I consider. Not only I can consider here water, here glass. No? Like that. If this medium, the medium mu 1, this is mu 2. If mu 1 is greater than mu 2, it will go away from the normal. If mu 1 is less than mu 2, it will go towards the normal. Okay? If this is greater, this is low, it will go towards the normal. I had given an example also. Okay? There are two cases. Now we are entering into a new topic, that is Snell's law. What is this Snell's law? We'll discuss. Wait. I had rubbed the board, so I apologize that. Why the viewers should get all that nonsense in the video. Why all that rubbing. Okay, I had rubbed just Snell's law. Okay, what is this Snell's law? Snell's. Maximum they think this is the word. That is not Snell's law. This is Snell. In the sense like smell. We'll say smell, no? Here you rub that M and write as N. You get a Snell's law. Snell is the name of a scientist, and he discovered that law, so it is called Snell's law. If Modi ji invent any law, Modi law, like that, he invented, so he named after himself my law. So my name is Snell, so I'll say Snell's, like that. Okay, let's get into the topic. What is this Snell's law, basically? Snell's law is nothing but, yeah, we have been discussing till now that refraction topic, no? Okay, here it is incident at this point, so I had drawn normal there. Let us consider now. I am considering this is 1, no? I am considering this is 1.33, greater than 1. Greater than 1 means it should go near to normal. Okay. We had discussed that in the plane mirror or in the mirrors topic, this is called angle of incidence. This is called angle of reflection. Reflection, in the sense, angle of reflection is nothing but the angle between normal and reflected ray. Angle of incidence means angle of incidence, normal and incident ray. The angle between normal and incident ray is called angle of incidence, and the angle between the reflected ray and the normal is called reflected angle or angle of reflection. Here also, angle between normal and the incident ray is called angle of incidence. Okay, this is 1, this is 1.33, and the angle between refracted ray, this is called reflected, not refracted. Here refraction is taking place, so refracted ray, angle between refracted ray and normal, not this angle, this is also normal. The acute angle between refracted ray and normal is called angle of refraction. Angle of refraction. Okay, this is called angle of refraction. Okay, this small angle. So many argue that actual definition is this can also be angle of refraction. No, why only this is considered as I had mentioned acute angle between refracted ray and the normal. This is only acute angle, this is obtuse angle, right? We will not consider obtuse angle, we will consider acute angle. Now, this is refracted angle, this is incident angle. Now, this Snell boy had discovered a law. What is that? I can write this refractive index multiplied by this angle, sine of angle 1 into this sine of I equal to 1.33 into sine of R. What is this sine function? You know, sine is nothing but if you take a right angle triangle, this is angle of incidence, this is right angle, this is both sides. Sine is nothing but if this is the angle. Okay, this is the angle. Opposite side x and this side is y, this side is z. Sine of this angle is, I am considering this as theta, then x by y is called sine theta. Here also in the same way, sine I will be there, no? Not this value, this no, we have to not consider any angle. Sine angle is nothing but opposite side by hypotenuse, that value will be there, sine I. In the sense, if the angle is 30, this angle is 30, sine 30 will be 1 by 2. If the angle is 60 degrees means root 3 by 2. You will come to know in the later topics of trigonometry, and I will make a video on that also. These angles, why we will make these all angles. Okay? The relation which is derived is this refractive index into sine of this angle equal to refractive this refractive index into this sine angle. Now I don't know these values. This is mu1 I am considering, this is mu2 I am considering. Then what is the mu1? Can I write mu1 into sin I equal to mu2 into sin R? Okay, can I write this? Mu1 into sin I equal to mu2 into sin R. Mu1 into sin I equal to mu2 into sin R, in the sense the product of this refractive index of the light ray which is coming into the sine of the incident angle, that is the angle between the normal and the incident ray, equal to the product of the refractive index of the ray, light ray which is getting into, and the sine of the angle which is between the normal and the refracted ray is called Snell's law. This is called Snell's law. I had described in such a way that you will get mad. Seriously, product of this into sine of this equal to product of this into sine of this. Okay, I am considering one example to create a clarity. Now, this is called interface. I forgot to say, this line is called interface. Okay, this is the normal. Here, with some angle 60 degrees. You know 60 degrees. You have protractor. You can measure that 60 degrees. This is mu1. This is mu2. If it is going towards the normal, obviously mu2 is greater than mu1, right? This angle is 30. Okay. Now, from this given information, I can write one equation. What is that? Mu1 into sin 60 equal to mu2 into sin 30. I can write this. I know sin 60 value root 3 by 2. Mu1 into root 3 by 2 equal to sin 30 value 1 by 2. I can write root 3 into mu1 by 2 equal to mu2 by 2. I can get any equation between these two values. If I know these three values, I can find this value. Any three terms are known, we can know the fourth term, right? Generally, we don't know with how much angle it is getting deviated, right? In that case, I know incident angle. I am considering an experiment. On experiment, we get a clarity why this equation is needed. Now, I have water. Okay, this beaker is filled totally with water. Now, I am incidenting the light with some, laser light. I am incidenting at this point. So, I will know the angle of incidence, right? I know angle of incidence. Obviously, the outer atmosphere is air. So, mu1 I will know. Okay, mu1 I will know, mu1 equal to 1. Okay, this is water, right? This is water I had considered. So, I know this also, mu2. Mu2 is 1.33. It is generally known. Otherwise, we know that mass by volume, we can find that and divide by water density. We can know finally how to find this mu2. Okay, we know mu2. And I don't know with how much angle it is getting deviated towards the normal. For that, we will use this. Okay? For that purpose, I don't know this angle. With how much it is getting bended towards the normal. I can find now. See, I know mu1 into sin I1. Sin I1 equal to mu2 into sin R, right? I1, not I. Mu1 is 1. 1 into sin I equal to mu2 into this angle is, I know, now I had considered 60 degrees. This 60 degrees I had kept that laser light towards the surface. Okay, 60 degrees. I will know the angle. So, sin 1 into sin 60 equal to, okay, this is very congested. I will write here. 1 into sin 60 equal to 1.33 into sin R. Okay, 1 by 1.33 into sin 60 value root 3 by 2 equal to sin R. Okay. Now from this we will get some value. From that value we know we got 1 by 2 equal to sin R. Consider if by solving this I got 1 by 2 equal to sin R. For which angle value will be sin 1 by 2? Obviously R will be equal to 30. If I got here 1 by root 2, obviously this value will be 45, right? By knowing this value, I know this. So we can know this angle also. For that purpose, we had discovered, or we are using this Snell's law. Okay. Now it is looking really as a mess. Please give me some time to clean this board. Looking like hell. Okay, I had successfully cleaned this board. Okay, now what is Snell's law? Mu1 sin I equal to mu2 sin R. Okay, we had till now. Have you got cleared what is this I, mu1, mu2, and how we'll use this equation? Why this equation is introduced into this topic? Have you got clarity? Okay. Why this introduction? Why this is introduced? In mirrors, why this is not introduced? You may get that question also. Mirrors, this equation is not there. Why? Because in mirror, reflection takes place simply in one medium only. See, here reflected ray and incident ray both are in one medium only. So there is no problem of introduction of that refractive index, and also that same angle also there. 30 means 30 only, 60 means 60 only. Okay. Now we will get into some dirty topics. Some dirty topics in the sense they will be useful. Now we know there are three types of mirrors, right? Concave, convex, and plane. If you want to know these mirrors deeply and detailedly, you can watch my previous videos. It is starting from part 4 or part 5, part 4 or part 3. From there I had been making plane, convex, concave, ray diagrams and all. If you want to get a clarity about that, you can see those. And now, in the lenses also same. Concave lens, convex lens, plane lens. Plane lens in the sense nothing but a glass plate. A glass plate in the sense any glass plate with some thickness. This can be a glass block, this can be a thin glass block, or nothing but a water surface, or nothing but a water packet. Both side it is available for going and to undergo reflection. These all are happening in the lenses. These all stories will also happen in the lenses also. Yes, no, in the mirrors also concave mirror will be there. So in the lenses also concave lens will be there. Okay. Now we had been discussing plane lens. Already plane lens is over. See, you can